Question. He always goes after Israel. He's no stranger to controversy, and yesterday while speaking to followers at the United Center in Chicago, the Nation of Islam leader, Louis Farrakhan, left many stunned as he unloaded about everything from race relations to President Obama to what really happened also on 9/11. Listen to this.
If this is the man that killed 3,000 people in the Twin Towers in America, why didn't you interrogate him? Could it be that the 3,000 people that died at the World Trade Center were not killed by Osama bin Laden or Muslims at all? Could it be that that was used by our government? A false flag operation.
And joining with reaction, former presidential candidate Herman Cain. Here's my first question for you. We know Farrakhan. We know his past, right. Racism, anti-Semitism. We understand that. He went to visit Gaddafi with Reverend Wright. There's a picture of Mrs. Farrakhan and Mrs. Obama. Do you think it's a fair question, or am I way over the top looking at Father Flager, Obama's friend, was at Farrakhan's speech? Am I going too far in saying they lived in the same neighborhood, hung out with the same people? Why hasn't anyone asked him what the relationship was with this guy?
You're not going too far. Farrakhan is a disciple of division. That's what he does. If he can't divide people with rhetoric, if Obama can't divide people with class warfare, if Farrakhan cannot divide people with accusations that the federal government actually was behind 9/11, then he has no message and no platform. So in one sense, what he said really didn't surprise me, and it really shouldn't surprise anybody.
It doesn't surprise me, but there's this circle here.
Yes.
Father Flager, Obama's friend,
right.
At the speech. Reverend Wright with Farrakhan, meeting Gaddafi.
Right.
You know, he excoriated President Obama over the Gaddafi issue and the Libya issue. And here's a case where the mainstream media is trying to ask Rick Santorum if he supports contraception. They never asked him about infanticide. They never asked him but one time about Bill Ayers. Is this the environment we just have to accept we live in now?
We don't have to accept it, but it is the environment that we have to live in. You and I both know, because you and I stay on top of this stuff. We are part of the media, but not the part of the media that is what I call lapdog, lamestream, media in Obama's pocket. And this is just another situation where we are not only fighting the liberals, we're not only fighting this administration that's been disingenuous on everything from energy to peanuts, we are fighting a liberal media that doesn't tell the whole story.
All right, let's go to a couple of the criticisms here. And he speaks about the president, and no other president and his family have had to endure what poor President Obama has had to endure, according to Farrakhan.
Never has a sitting president been spoken of in the manner that President Obama and his family have had to endure. Not just by the birthers and right-wing zealots, but those in high places, people with great influence, have spoken against him in a manner that has never been accorded to even the worst of America's white presidents.
How about George Bush? How about Herman Cain?
If you go to the Media Research Center, Brett Bozell, our friend, they've documented the names that they call George Bush. That statement is just simply not true. He presents no facts, but he makes the statement and he gets away with it to the people who are willing to listen to him, and that's all.
All right, here's my... He's saying? What does he believe? What does he want? What do you interpret from him?
If Osama bin Laden wasn't behind it, because our intelligence agencies demonstrated it. We've had many people who worked for Osama bin Laden say that he was the mastermind behind it. So he's basically saying that our intelligence agencies lied. No, they didn't. If Osama bin Laden wasn't behind it.
He bragged about it. He took credit for it.
I'm Santa Claus, okay? He can say anything.
You need to grow a beard if you're going to be...
Well, you know, but it'll be a black beard. It won't be a white beard. So you have to live with that, okay?
I'll live.
My point is, this is another example how because of free speech, someone can abuse free speech and say incendiary things, and he's just talking to the people who are going to believe what he said. The good news, Sean, is that because of the power of the internet, because of shows like this and others that are exposing this hypocrisy, we at least have 50% of the people who get it who will never believe in any of that kind of rhetoric.
All right, and you got nearly 500,000 people signed up to...
Nearly 500,000 people at HermanCain.com,
Wow.
Cain Connections. We are going to take an army to Washington, D.C.
So let not your heart be troubled.
Take on Goliath.
Cain Army. All right.
You got it.
Good to see you, Herman.
Thanks.
Thank you for
Thanks,
being
Sean.
with us.
Happy to be here.
And that is all the time we have left this evening. As always, thank you for being with us. We are at Sean Hannity if you're on Twitter, and if not, join us. It's a lot of fun. Greta's next. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Greta.